the Slayer.
You don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me. I'm a loner, Dottie. A rebel.
Hey everybody, hope you're having a great day and packing in some amazing miles. This is Tyler with another tire review. Today we'll be looking at the Slayer on my FloatWheel ADV. I've had this tire on my board a few times now, and recently I put it back on specifically for this review. Installation was very easy, certainly a tire that did not put up a fight. I added a little lubrication, wrapped the tire, and I inflated it. If I remember correctly, the beads seated at 40 to 60 psi in that realm. After seating the beads, I set the psi to 13. It seems to be my magic number. Right out of the gate, I was reminded how stable this tire felt. That might be something some riders are looking for. I tend to fall into the group of riders that prefers a much more responsive and carvy ride. When this tire was going about 10 miles per hour or under, I felt like I was really having to push my weight around to get it to carve and maneuver. When you start approaching the teens, you can get a decent but very calm carve. At higher speeds, this tire has you locked and stable. Zero wobble or sketchiness at high speeds. But if you're looking for a tire on the responsive side, I don't think this tire would be for you. Honestly, if you're primarily a straight rider, I would personally skip this tire. But in the Slayer's defense, this tire wasn't geared for a street rider, so I don't overly fault it. This tire was certainly geared for off-road riding. That's definitely where it starts to shine. While even on the trails, it's not a very maneuverable with ease tire, it feels like a tire that can really drive through a lot of chunk and imperfections. I tend to like to be able to swiftly maneuver around a lot of obstacles, but this tire just says, screw it, just go through it, I got you. It was more than able to bonk over plenty of ruts and rocks, but I did have a little bit harder time lining up my approach due to the lack of the maneuverability that I prefer, but it did take care of them without issues. I always keep my ADV on the lowered rail height. That height combined with this tire, I had no issue with clearance at all. From curb nudges to rocks to ruts, clearance seemed more than adequate. I had one near crash where I couldn't get the leverage that I needed on the board to turn sharp enough when I was being pulled to the edge of the trail. I was sure that the board was going to tip me and drop me on my back. Surprisingly, it let me really push on my heel side and didn't drop me. I then hopped off and readjusted. I've had a handful of times hitting random trail obstacles on the edge of the tire, and it didn't feel like it was going to buck me off. It did a solid job staying grounded. On berms, it did a great job locking me into the berm, and it did so seamlessly. No complaints there. To recap on streets, it's a very stable tire. If you're trying to straight line high speeds and not too concerned about carving, it's fine. The treads are a bit on the louder side, but not awful. Adding a bit more PSI would likely give it a bit more agility, but the tire would feel much harder and less forgiving. Calm carving and very stable. On the trails, this tire wants to bulldoze through whatever it's lined up with. Maneuvering obstacles certainly took a lot more leg muscling than I'm used to or that I prefer. But this tire wants to muscle its way through any random obstacles you come up to in the trails. It also really grabbed into the dirt while pulling me up inclines without any issue. If you're primarily a trail rider who wants to just be able to plow through everything, this might be a great option for you. I hope you gained some insight on my review of the Slayer. If you have any questions or comments, please utilize the comment section. Till next time, stay safe and stay upright. See you guys!